figure out how they can make a ring square.
Well, around will be very difficult to box in. But you know something, I think we might see an early knockdown here. Pat Cowdell seems to be a little tight here. I think he's in awe of the champion.
Cowdell's back has not even so much as broken a sweat yet. And that is rather unusual. You want your fighters to get warm in the dressing room.
That is the key, bro. You've got to be loosened up because one punch, you know, through all the excitement and the intensity of the fight, it's very easy to get shaken by an early punch.
Salvador Sanchez, a relentless kind of fighter. In fact, Sports Illustrated said when he fought Ruben Castillo, and I quote, a brilliant display of non-stop, aggressive, and classic boxing. Those were the words of America's top sports magazine on Salvador Sanchez, who you're looking at right now on the right of your screen in the red trunks with a white stripe. Pat Cowdell, the challenger from England, wearing white trunks with a blue and a red stripe.
There's no perspiration on the champion Sanchez either. I think it's going to take him a few rounds, although once he hurts his opponent, most definitely he's going to take him out.
Sanchez all business in the boxing ring. Unquestionably his most impressive victory coming against Wilfredo Gomez in his last fight. He hurt Gomez in the first round of that fight. Left hand up on the bridge of the nose of Pat Cowdell. First punch of the fight that is really scored with any great kind of intensity at all. Didn't hurt Cowdell a bit.
What I like about Sanchez is his concentration, his eye contact. He keeps his eye on his opponent, watches him very, very carefully.
Sanchez, the aggressor, Cowdell up on his bicycle here in the first round. Looping right hand scores on the face of Cowdell. Cowdell did cut in his last fight. And in fact, even early on here, there does seem to be a little bit of, right now, what I call pinkness over the left eye of Cowdell. And we, of course, are just coming up on the 2-minute mark of round one.
This is pretty much still a filling out process for Sanchez, and as the rounds go by, he get a lot looser and far more effective.
That cut that Cowdell suffered in the last fight was as a result of a butt, not as a result of any kind of punching. And one of the 2 losses that he suffered was also as a result of a cut. Going downstairs and then coming upstairs with the left hand. And a fine uppercut right there also scores to the chin of the challenger. And there is a definite puffiness over the left eye of Pat Cowdell. Ticking down to the 15-second mark, as you see here in round one. This is for the featherweight championship. Pat Cowdell, first man from the Midlands of England to fight for a championship in 30 years. And 3 damaging lefts there by the champion Salvador Sanchez. Round one is over. That is Sanchez on the right, Cowdell on the left of your screen. Cowdell in the white truck, first round belonging to the champion.
You will see more punches thrown this round because both fighters begin to warm up now.
Sanchez very active, bobbing and weaving. Sanchez really looking every bit the part of a champion.
Well, he's a technician. He takes his time, and I think what he wants to do now, he's getting a little over anxious now, and he could get caught.
Out of the stalk his opponents. Most of those punches landing on the arms and the gloves of Pat Cowdell.
Normally, Sanchez is a very patient fighter. I don't know the reason why he's rushing himself, because there's plenty of time to figure out a strategy, a very effective strategy against Cowdell.
Well, in fact, he has been behind in most of his fights. The Gomez fight was really the one exception. All the fights around the Gomez fight against Laforte, Perez, Castañón, even a little bit, Castillo, he was behind and really didn't take command until the 5th or 6th round. Cowdell with very little offense, and that seems to be the story early on here.
Well, the punches that Cowdell did land, they were very, very light punches, so I don't expect him to even daze Sanchez at all.
Chopping right hand, scored pretty well that time by the champion. Up over the eye of Cowdell. And that would have to start to concern Cowdell pretty quickly. We're going to have to keep an eye on the left eye of Pat Cowdell. It is not cut, but it is a little bit puffy.
Cowdell's best bet is to try to out-punch the champion, because I doubt if he can knock him out.
Sanchez really does look all business. Sanchez the right hand to the side of the head. They do say about Sanchez, too, if and when he does get hit, he has a great ability to recoup between rounds, and that's really something that's important to any fighter.
Well, Sanchez is a well-conditioned champion, and he's ready for anyone.
Two left hands score on Cowdell by the champion Sanchez. Another right hand to the side of the head, and that came behind a body punch. Sanchez getting a very good exchange right there. End of round 2. So we come to round 3 now. Pat Cowdell and Salvador Sanchez. Sanchez having things pretty much his own way through the first 2 rounds.
That second round, Sanchez was able to daze Cowdell for temporarily, and now, even in the 3rd round, I think he's already figured out the best strategy for this young man.
Sanchez calls himself an intelligent boxer, and he doesn't say that in an egotistical way. He just says, you know what I'm doing in there, and he has shown that so far tonight through 2 rounds and 1 minute of another round. Castillo, who fought Sanchez and fought him a pretty good fight to the point that Castillo figures he won the fight, says that Sanchez can be hit, and as reason for that, he says all you have to do is look at his nose, which goes from ear to ear. Sanchez counters quickly and says that nose is hereditary.
Well, some of the champions have life in the nose. Cowdell, his style is giving Sanchez a bit of a problem, because these down little crouch, it's like a peekaboo style, has a very stiff left jab. And now Sanchez is backing away, trying to lure his man in.
Good job, Pat.
Sanchez continuing to pound away at Cowdell. Neither man is marked. Little reddening in the face of the challenger, Cowdell.
Those body punches by Sanchez are going to slow Cowdell down. And the punch that Sanchez is really trying to set his man up for is that overhand right.
Good job, Pat. Good job, son.
Sanchez clearly in control, pounds down with the right hand to the top of the head of Cowdell.
Good job, Pat.
Left hand that says score to the right side of the face of the challenger.
Cowdell comes in with that, and constantly drops that left hand, but fortunately his shoulder protects his chin.
Well, so far Cowdell is pretty much what we expected, and that is not a great deal of offense, but game certainly taking the best that Sanchez has thrown so far. For a guy his size, very heavy-handed puncher. You can really hear every one of his punches. End of round 3.
Fucking English fighter, Pat Cowdell.
Who comes out to meet the champion, Salvador Sanchez? So round 4, Sanchez starts out all business. That was a low punch by Sanchez. Low blow with the left hand, and he does draw a warning.
Well, again, Sanchez is trying to get that right hand in. He's working to the body, trying to slow Cowdell down so that he will become a stationary target, and he'll be far more effective with the right hand.
Sanchez again continuing to force the action here. Cowdell really unable to get untracked offensively here.
Sanchez needs to tie his shoelaces up, because what's going to happen, he may trip and he may get caught and they would probably call it a knockdown.
Sanchez banging away at the kidneys of Pat Cowdell, and you can see a reddening on the back of Cowdell. Those kinds of punches I would think would take their toll also.
I think at times Sanchez has a way of falling asleep in the corner, or just to stand there, or wait to see whether or not Cowdell is able to do anything. And that could be a mistake.
Cowdell snuck a jab into the nose of Salvador Sanchez. And any time there's a give and take, it is Cowdell that is doing the taking, and Sanchez that is doing the giving.
You know, there's something of very sportsmanship of Cowdell. He looked down at the laces of Sanchez, and he stopped himself.
So Pat Cowdell just stands in his corner and takes a breather while Salvador Sanchez gets his shoe tied.
The next time he looks down at his laces, Sanchez is liable to look down and get clobbered.
It could have been a trick.
And there's a pretty good right hand by Pat Cowdell.
On the jump, son.
Cowdell continues at long range now. Sanchez continues to stalk him. Cowdell actually exerting a little bit of offense in this round.
That was the best punch of the fight. He hit him a terrific right hand. It's Cowdell.
Cowdell is beginning to find his mark now with that right hand. I was wondering, Larry, when he was going to release that right hand.
Cowdell, one of those fighters that fights off his back foot. And that is classic. That's an uppercut that scores to the chin by the champion, but Cowdell does not take a backward step. And the round 4, pretty good round for Cowdell. Your Spanish has improved since we were in Las Vegas. This is round 5. Cowdell in the white trunks. Sanchez the champion in the red. And Cowdell may be starting to get a little bit of confidence here, Ray.
Well, Bert, no one expected too much from Cowdell, even myself. I didn't think he was going to last but over 2 rounds. And here he's holding his own.
He has not been hurt by Salvador Sanchez. And as Larry Merchant mentioned, maybe the best punch of the fight has been thrown by Cowdell. An uppercut by the champion Sanchez, but he takes one right back from Cowdell.
Well, now I see Sanchez is taking a different approach towards Cowdell. He's basically moving to his right, and moving to the right on the opponent, having to throw him off at times.
Sanchez will, from time to time, go southpaw. He did it against Perez just a few fights ago. It was the first time he'd done it. Did it just briefly in the 6th round. It still seems as though Pat Cowdell has taken Sanchez's best shots.
That left jab of Cowdell's could pretty much be the key punch throughout the whole fight because it keeps Sanchez off balance.
He is getting through it, too. Came with a pretty good right hand that time. I think you're right, Ray. As you mentioned earlier in the fight, Cowdell's style just seems to have Sanchez just a little bit off balance.
It's a very awkward style. We might see a right hand again by Cowdell.
Sanchez touching in combinations, but the jab by Cowdell keeping Sanchez off of it.
You notice the way Sanchez keeps his eyes on his opponent.
Cowdell going downstairs, then coming upstairs with the left jab.
You know, very few fighters are able to stay as cool as Sanchez. Never loses his composure.
Cowdell jab does continue to pepper Sanchez. It doesn't hurt him, it just continues to get in there.
Well, that left jab of Cowdell leads up to the right hand that he has.
Cowdell sticks the jab into the stomach, and that comes up to the head. Sanchez unquestionably the stronger of the two, end of round 5.
The left jab.
So we come to round 6, and Pat Cowdell, folks, is still here. Sanchez still the stalker, Cowdell still the stalky. Neither man has been hurt. Sanchez's punches have been perhaps a bit stronger, but Cowdell has had that pesky left jab in the face and in the stomach of the champion Salvador Sanchez.
And this is what Cowdell has to do in order to deal with the champion. When fighters fight, constantly use that left jab, keep the champion off balance, and lead up to the right hand.
He has not thrown the right hand with any kind of regularity. Takes the right hand from Sanchez in the chin. Sanchez, a lunging right hand, comes up a little bit short. And Sanchez getting the better of that exchange also. Three punches to the head, all scoring by the champion on the challenger Pat Cowdell, but he does not take a backward step.
Good job, son.
Break. 4 steps back.
Let's start in again, son.
Get out.
Sanchez kind of taking a step away from Pat Cowdell, trying to get a little bit of punching room. Sanchez right now, at least, seems to prefer being in long range.
Well, due to Cowdell's style, I think some of the most effective punches that can be thrown by Sanchez is the uppercut. He can stop bringing his punches under. I think it will be very effective.
Sanchez, if you're wondering about how frequently he gets knocked down, he has been knocked down. It is not an unprecedented thing. Juan Escobar knocked him down twice.
Good job, son.
In his first fight in the United States, the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles. That fight was called a draw. Good left hand right there. Flat on the button by Sanchez against Cowdell, who backs up momentarily.
Well, you see the damage of those punches that Sanchez brought under were so effective against Cowdell.
One thing you really cannot lose sight of, and that is that the fight with Wilfredo Gomez was far and away the best fight that Salvador Sanchez has had. The fights that surrounded that fight against Castillo
Good job, son.
and the like were simply not as effective. Jimmy Flint, he had a tough time, or rather not Jimmy Flint, I beg your pardon. But he has had a tough time in his last couple of fights. Well, once again, Pat start round 7. Pat Cowdell on the left, Salvador Sanchez on the right. With Patrick Ford, opposed to Jimmy Flint, who gave Sanchez a problem. So too did Castillo. Once again, bobbing and weaving style of Pat Cowdell causing Salvador Sanchez some problems, at least in consistency. Neither man has really been hurt. Fighters at long range once again. That time Cowdell gave up one to get one of his own in.
Cowdell's left jab has been very, very effective. And his style, Cowdell's style, is starting to make Sanchez reach out and telegraph his punches.
It's about halfway through the 7th round here, and once again, Pat Cowdell just continuing to confuse the champion. champion still looks in control of the fight, but Salvador Sanchez does not exactly have things all his own way. Right hand misses, and he did have Cowdell open for a brief moment. Referee Steve Croson, controlling the fight pretty well, stepped in there.
I'm very impressed with Cowdell.
Took a right hand to the side of the head right there, and that was the first punch that might have hurt Pat Cowdell.
With the little experience that he has, you know, he's holding his own.
Another right hand also up on the side of the head of Pat Cowdell, but that one did not make him back up. The first one did. We're in the 7th round. Pat Cowdell from England, Salvador Sanchez, the champion from Mexico. Cowdell with a combination scored. I think you heard his corners say, beautiful, beautiful. Left jab again, gets Sanchez off the ropes. Sanchez now going to a left and right style. Wild left hand. Left jab of Cowdell into round 7, close round.
The left jab of Cowdell, being as stiff as it is, starting to bother Sanchez.
Neither man is marked. Little reddening on the face of Pat Cowdell, but that was there early on also. We're in the 8th round, featherweight championship from the Houston Astrodome. Cowdell started to pick up the pace a little bit here. And Sanchez, again, a lot of arms and a lot of movements, but no damage.
And Sanchez is making a bad mistake. He throws punches inside, then he comes straight up with his chin sticking straight in the air. And if Cowdell throws that right hand, he could put the champion down. Or even Daisy.
Sanchez with a couple of left hands that score, but once again, Cowdell just not with taking a backward step and flicks the left jab out right on the forehead of the champion 4 times. Cowdell really taking a little something from the Salvador Sanchez school, countering pretty well with the left hand.
The left hand of Cowdell is pretty consistent. If he just can make his right hand consistent also.
Chopping right, and the left hand scores. Once again, the left hand of the nose of Salvador Sanchez, and again.
You see the power of Cowdell's left jab. Very stiff and very accurate. But I just wonder how long he can keep this up, because now the swelling around Cowdell's eyes begin to get a little bad.
Was only on the top of the eye. Now it's above and below the eye. It's on the left eye. And it's starting to get a little bit blue, swelling both above and below the eye. So we come to round 9, following that 2-minute round, giving somebody a 1-minute benefit. Remember that Sanchez has been a notoriously slow starter, with the exception of the fight against Wilfredo Gomez.
Sanchez had instructions from the corner not to back up, because in backing up, he's going to get Cowdell momentum, and giving a man like Cowdell momentum, you ask him for trouble or even a much difficult fight.
Cowdell now turning that jab into a bit of a hook to the chest and to the stomach. There is a left hand that scores on the side of the face of Cowdell. And Cowdell retreats for maybe the first time tonight. Sanchez stops it.
Well, Cowdell is starting to move and actually start to run. I don't know whether or not he's trying to regain his win or he's hurt.
Sanchez's corner telling him to come on, come on. Another good right hand that time, and again it staggers the challenger, Pat Cowdell. Cowdell holds on.
Sanchez is beginning to find his margin now.
Another left hand to the side of the hand of the challenger. And a straight left scores to the chin. There's another right hand, and Cowdell is hurt. He's chopping right hand.
a series of combinations, good hard combinations. I think he's a little dazed now. And now we're going to see Sanchez take advantage of the opportunity.
Now there's a cut over the right eye of Cowdell. That is not the eye that was swollen. So the challenger is in deep trouble right now as the champion asserts himself here in round 9. And another left hand.
Well, I understand how well of a finisher that Sanchez is, and we're going to see how easily he finishes the opponent off.
Cowdell is cut now over the right eye, and I believe under the left eye. With a couple of jabs, but this round has belonged to Salvador Sanchez.
The right hand again by Sanchez. He's trying to set it up. It's an overhand right in the hand.
It's a chopping right hand that did the most damage. By the time another hard right hand staggers Cowdell once again. He found exactly the punch you were talking about, Ray.
Well, Sanchez found out how effective that right hand was, and he's going to continue to use it.
Sanchez, or rather Cowdell, bleeding under the left eye, over the right eye. As we approach the 15-second mark here in round 9. Cowdell continues to stick that jab. And another hard right hand, catching him right on the back. Salvador Sanchez just measuring his man now as we come to the end of the 9th round.
Well, we said earlier that Patrick Cowdell fought in spurts and sometimes bled in spurts, and he's bleeding now, and his corner is ministering to him. It doesn't appear to be a really, really bad cut at this point, but it may be disconcerting to him more than anything else, because after that, he started to get hit from right hand.
Well, I think that's the additional trouble.
Let's take a look at that right hand, Sanchez's best punch of the fight, as he moves forward, almost like the grim death that he represents as a featherweight champion. A very good right hand. That's not the first blood Cowdell has ever seen of his own, so I don't think we're going to see him back off here.
Cowdell, the first man to the center of the ring to meet the champion, Salvador Sanchez. Round 10. Not a lot of people thought it would go this far.
This could very well be the round that Sanchez gets Cowdell out of there. Not taking anything away from Cowdell, because he looked so impressive up to this point.
Cowdell continues to get that left hand in the face of Sanchez, but really, almost a matter of time. Sanchez really caught him in the 9th round, hurt him not once, but on several occasions.
Well, Sanchez is just throwing pop shots now, trying to get closer and see it and feel out an opening and take advantage of it.
Again, Cowdell peppering the face of Salvador Sanchez with the left hand. Bleeding starting now, actually looks like from the bridge of the nose from Cowdell. And also over the right eye once again.
Cowdell's left jab is not as stiff and sharp as it was in the earlier rounds. Fatigue seems to be setting in, or just a matter of punishment he's taking from Sanchez.
Cut over the right eye, opened up once again, although it is not bleeding quite as profusely as it was in the last round.
Once again, I see Sanchez set this man up with that right hand, because he lures his opponent in, throws the left jab, and comes across with that overhand right.
Sanchez really very much business in the ring. His expression has not changed from the opening round. Didn't change when he was on the defensive, didn't change when he was on the offense. Leaning over the left eye has stopped on Pat Cowdell, but continues somewhat over the right eye, not to the point of being any kind of hindrance right at this juncture.
Come on, son, let it go, Pat. Let it go, Mike.
Cowdell's corner encouraging him. With a good left hand sends Cowdell back, didn't seem to hurt him.
Cowdell needs to be throwing that left jab while the champion just moving around to score some points. And Sanchez, he needs to start being a little bit more aggressive instead of backing away.
Again, a left hand by Sanchez off a right hand by Pat Cowdell. Cowdell sticks the jab in the face of Salvador Sanchez once again. Sanchez comes back with a jab of his own. Didn't run alongside the nose of Pat Cowdell now. Sanchez goes downstairs, still looking for the right hand.
Sanchez should go to the body a little bit more.
Sanchez still continuing to stalk his man. Taking his time, being very patient, looking for the one punch. And he ended round 10, and it was a round, Larry.
Take one punch to get Cowdell out of there. He's going to take a series of combinations.
Well, he hurt him in the 9th round, and really that was the only round in which Salvador Sanchez really has caused any serious damage on Pat Cowdell.
Another major problem with Sanchez is the fact that his shoes will give him a lot of trouble. He can't really get his foot.
A little more blood over the eye and alongside the nose of the challenger, Pat Cowdell now. The blood is not going into the eye, it is alongside the eye. Cowdell continues to score with a jab, which has been pretty consistent.
You know, Barry, it's quite natural that Pat Cowdell came here to fight, came here to win, because he's in tremendous shape. I thought fatigue had set in for a while, but here, once again, he surprised.
There's also a little blood on the face of Salvador Sanchez, although that could be Pat Cowdell's blood. Quite tell where it's coming from, if in fact it is coming from Sanchez.
You know, Sanchez throws that right hand, and he slides when he throws it because of the shoes he has on.
That was a pretty good right hand there by the champion, backing the challenger up, and another right hand causes Cowdell to hold on momentarily. Another chopping right hand on the side of the face of Pat Cowdell, and more blood showing on the right side of the face of Cowdell.
Something to point out with Sanchez, he has very, very good skin because he's been peppered with that left jab of Cowdell, and there's been not even an abrasion yet.
Not even really swollen at all, as a matter of fact. That left hand caught the glove of Pat Cowdell, no damage. There's an uppercut that scores by the champion on Cowdell. Chopping right hand sends Cowdell backward. And another right hand to the side of the face, and Cowdell is hurt. End of round 11. Tough round for Cowdell, good round for the champion.
We'll take a look at that last flurry here momentarily as Salvador Sanchez begins to impose himself on his opponent. Moving forward patiently. Sanchez seems to know when the end of the round is coming, Ray. He usually starts a flurry with about 20 to 30 seconds left.
Well, what I know is the damage that those uppercuts, he brings his punches under. And that's, I think, going to be the factor in the fight. At this point now.
If you want to lose on points, you're doing fine. If you want to win, you've got to do a bit more work. Same style, more work.
We heard the words there of Mickey Duff telling Cowdell that he just had to keep at it, but just harder.
Mickey Duff's not in there.
And Pat Cowdell trying to do just that. Heed the advice of Mickey Duff. He's got a pretty tough customer to heed it with.
The advice from the other corner is take him out now. It ought to be a heck of a round.
Somebody should fall, and if I were a betting man, I think my money'd be with the champion.
I don't know. You know, I just don't know.
Cowdell comes after him. The champion comes after Cowdell. Crowd is on its feet here at the Astrodome. What a good fight, whichever way it goes. Right hand by Cowdell scores. Does not hurt the champion, however. Sanchez comes back, swinging a little bit wildly.
Well, now I see that Cowdell's wincing every time that Sanchez throws his body shots and an uppercut. I think you're right. This could be the round.
Sanchez still completely unmarked. Blood showing again on the face of Pat Cowdell. Body punches are taking their toll on Pat Cowdell, as Ray Leonard mentioned. Almost doubled him over with that last punch. And Cowdell comes back, catches the right hand on the face of Sanchez.
I've been trying to stick around to this point. I've been wrong so far.
Cowdell is defending himself. Once again, a right hand scores on Sanchez. Doesn't seem to hurt him, but does score. A left hand and an uppercut behind it by the champion Sanchez.
Those uppercuts do so much damage.
Hurt him with an uppercut in the last round and hurts him right now with one. But Cowdell still not moving backwards, coming right in on the champion. Left hand scores by Sanchez and another left.
That punch really hurt.
And Cowdell holds on.
Cowdell is dazed. My eyes got worse. This has to be it.
Blood now showing very predominantly from the right eye of Pat Cowdell. Now the cut really does become a serious factor in this fight.
Cowdell still a little dazed. His head is still not clear. What Sanchez should do is back off and then take advantage.
Cowdell just trying to hold on here, get through this round if he can.
What Sanchez's problem is, he lets Cowdell regain his composure, get his step back together, and he creates problems.
30 seconds to go here in the 12th round. And Cowdell will do well just to get through this one. Left hand backs Cowdell up again, but a right hand misses and Cowdell comes back.
Unbelievable round.
No matter what, it's been a terrific fight.
Especially with Cowdell.
End of round 12, and Cowdell beat.
Let's take a look at a good combination by Cowdell in that round. There's a right hand right on the ropes. Keeps surprising everybody, I guess, except himself. Let's take a look at that from another angle.
Well, he's surprised when he retaliates. He gets hit by the champion, and then he comes back. And there we see Sanchez land a big left hook.
That left hook had Cowdell blinking. Yeah, that right eye looks pretty bad right now.
Reminiscent of another cut that we all saw Vito Antifermo have at the hands of Marvin Hagler. Just at about in the same place, and blood starts to flow from that cut right now.
I feel that Cowdell, the way he's been instructed, that right eye is going to get worse, not better. And he may go at it this round.
There's a right hand by Cowdell, and he ducks under a left hand by Sanchez and comes back with a right of his own. But he takes a right hand from Sanchez right there. Another chopping right hand by Sanchez. Cowdell still doesn't back up. And the jab of Cowdell still seems to have a little snap in it.
It's unbelievable that all of a sudden Cowdell comes back stronger. But his left jab is stronger than his right hand.
He has been able to get to Sanchez. He just has not been able to hurt him. And Sanchez, to his credit, is just fighting his fight as well. Takes the combination again. The champion backs up, but shows no expression whatsoever on his face.
That's what those combinations there by Cowdell. Had to shake the champion up, but Cowdell makes a mistake. He backs away. Those are good combination and backs away. That left hook there was a very good punch.
And once again, the left hand catches Sanchez on the way in. Sanchez punching his combination now. Sanchez's punches don't seem to have quite as much sting in them. It's been 12 and a half tough rounds here. Chopping left hand that time by Sanchez.
I don't think Sanchez can figure out Cowdell because he gets Cowdell in trouble, and what happens? Cowdell retaliates. He comes back with a series of his own punches.
Right hand lead, a little bit lunging lead by Sanchez. And there's a right hand by Cowdell again. His corner exhorts him. Beautiful, they say.
This can be very frustrating for his champion. You have a guy in trouble, especially a guy as inexperienced as Cowdell, and what happens? He comes back all of a sudden.
Well, the cut has not really been any more trouble this late in the round than it was after the first 20 seconds of the round. Cowdell also bleeding inside the mouth, and that, of course, has got to affect the man's breathing. But you've talked time and again about his conditioning, Ray, and his conditioning is just marvelous.
That's superb conditioning, helping out Cowdell.
Punches still have sting. End of round 13.
A great big, he will wind up with just about $30,000, $35,000 at most for this fight.
But watch him fight now, though. I believe he's going to go for it.
And Sanchez comes out, and he has the same thought in mind that he's going to go for it, but he takes a right hand and a left by the challenger, Cowdell. And even this crowd, which is in almost 100% in support of Sanchez, is admiring the challenger, Pat Cowdell.
Well, they appreciate his determination and his courage to go on and his comeback.
There's a good left hand by Sanchez on the side of the face and a right hand. Once again, as Cowdell takes one step back and then comes right back up again.
This guy's unbelievable, Bud. He gets rocked, then all of a sudden he comes back with that stiff left jab.
Sanchez with a good counter-punching left hand right there hurt Cowdell. That was one of the first good counter-punches that Sanchez has had tonight.
I would hate to fight this guy.
He takes a good combination that time from Sanchez, but again doesn't back up. Misses with a wild right hand of his own, and Sanchez is right back on him. Sanchez has picked up the pace here in the 14th round, figuring that maybe he needs to get one more round should this thing go all the way. Blood flowing pretty freely now from the eye of Pat Cowdell. And I know Cowdell would not want to lose this on cuts at this juncture.
Well, the impressive showing that Cowdell has displayed, he deserves to be champion.
You know, we use the word dead game all the time in boxing, and yet, in trying to think of another way to describe Pat Cowdell, I don't know if I can. Inside the 1 minute mark remaining in round 14. Sanchez is paced down a little bit here. Chopping right hand misses to the top of the head of Cowdell. And a left hand touches him on the cheek. And Cowdell again does not take a backward step. There's a combination by Cowdell scoring to the face of Sanchez. Cowdell does not seem able to hurt Salvador Sanchez. And Sanchez, this is by no means to take away what the champion has done. The champion has fought a fine fight. It's just that the challenger has brought the fight right to him and has done a marvelous job.
I think we all have to keep our hats off to Cowdell.
Salvador Sanchez proving himself without question a worthy champion. And Pat Cowdell, who came in here with few credentials, has shown that he is of the caliber of the man who holds the... Well, the right eye of Pat Cowdell bleeding even before the 15th round starts. We heard Ricky Duff in the corner say, just don't get careless. And Sanchez comes after him immediately, and Sanchez himself takes the right hand. He knows that Cowdell can't hurt him. Ricky Duff said, don't get careless to Pat Cowdell.
Well, once he going through both men's minds, the fact that this fight is pretty close. So this 15th round, they're going to most definitely go at it.
Can't help but wonder, Ray, if Sanchez is not taking the same kind of thought that you had in round 14 against Thomas Hayes.
Yes, and it's a motivating factor. Those last 2 rounds, or even the final round, really bring out something special in a fighter.
Crowd taking up a chant in support of the champion, Salvador Sanchez. And once again, we don't want to take away anything from the champion in all our ramblings about the challenger, Pat Cowdell.
Well, the champion's proven he's a champ. I mean, he's displaying so much skill and talent, but he's fighting a real game and tough challenger in Cowdell.
I want to tell you, though, if you went into this fight not being a fight fan and just happened by HBO tonight waiting for Superman or whatever the movie will be in your area, you became a fight fan after this one. And you're definitely going to want to join us on January 30th, of course, for the Roberto Duran-Wilfred Benitez fight. And on February 15th, for Sugar Ray Leonard's welterweight defense.
This also brings another thought in mind. You can't judge a fight by one's credentials because Cowdell doesn't have that much experience, but he has a great deal of heart.
And as Larry Merchant mentioned, this is his moment in the sun, and he has made the most of it. Cowdell bleeding from the left eye and from the right eye, and in all likelihood, he will go the distance in this featherweight championship fight. 45 seconds remaining in the fight, and it has been a deadly, chopping right hand by Cowdell. And Cowdell staying right in there, hits him with the right hand again. Sanchez pawing at his man, measuring his man, still looking for the right punch, and there it is. The right hand with 15 seconds to go. Actually 19 seconds. Cowdell trying to get up, and he does. Cowdell has 9 seconds remaining. 9 seconds remaining. Remember, he cannot be saved by the bell. Inside the 5-second mark, the fight is over, and what a fight this was.
Very, very impressive showing by Pat Cowdell. The people of England will be very, very proud of this young man.
And with every good reason. I mean, Sanchez hit him a right hand, and he went down. I really didn't think he had a prayer of getting up.
I didn't think he could do that, Bird, but I tell you one thing, this man displayed so much courage, so much heart, and no question about it, championship.
Salvador Sanchez, truly a great champion. Let's take a look at the knockdown and chopping right hand.
Well, the champion, Sanchez, set his man with that left jab and came across with that crushing right hand. And we see it at a different angle. Sanchez is champion. Extend the left jab, move around, better position, the right hand puts Cowdell down.
I really did not think that the man could get up from that. Even as far as the count of 6 or 7, it just looked like it was all over. I don't think there's any doubt. You hate to say that in a fight that goes to decision. I don't think there's any doubt that Sanchez will retain his championship. But it's good to see the fight end with both men on their feet, and especially a guy who was as game as Pat Cowdell was.
Well, Sanchez came back. He never was really that far behind, although it was a few close rounds and a few rounds that Pat Cowdell was able to take to the champion.
Sanchez just doing a tremendous job in stalking his man. He kept looking, as you mentioned, Ray, for that right hand, and he found it 20 seconds before the end of the fight.
But it's bad for Cowdell that right hand happened to come a few seconds before the last round ended.
And I want to remind you, too, that the rules here, had he have gone down once again, he could not have been saved by the bell. They would have continued the count, and that's something you don't see all the time. So Cowdell, had he have been gone down even 2 or 3 seconds before the end of the fight, still, he could have been counted out and it would have been a knockout. As it is, it was just one of those kinds of fights that you just say, even if you're not a fight fan, you got to say, terrific fight.
I feel so good that Cowdell was able to prove the boxing critics and myself wrong, that he was a legitimate contender and challenger.
He's a perfect example of a guy you just never know coming into the fight, and the adrenaline gets pumping, and he's a guy who's not supposed to do as well as he does, and yet he goes out there against a guy the caliber of Salvador Sanchez, who proved he is a worthy champion.
It was a very impressive showing by the challenger.
Sanchez looked as though he got the fighting control in the middle rounds, and yet Cowdell kept coming back, and actually started scoring with his right hand as well as his left.
Well, Burr, I have to point out again that the champion, Sanchez, never really lost composure. I mean, although he had a few frustrating rounds because the challenger kept using that left jab, he never really lost composure.
All right.
Gentlemen, we have the decision, please. Attention to the ring. Judge Dick Cole sees it 146-140, Sanchez. Judge B. McMillan sees it 145-144, Cowdell. Judge Jenkins calls it 148-137. The winner and still WBC featherweight champion of the world, Salvador Sanchez.
Well,